Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at supermicrocomputer. It is time for another update, and on this chart we are still tracking the idea of an impulse here forming to the upside. Now multiple counts, multiple scenarios are very much possible on this chart, but I would like to still continue to track an impulse as long as possible, especially since that would be the first count to get the first scenario to get invalidated. Now, in this idea, I am tracking here a series of 1-2 setups that has formed from the all-time low, and then another 1-2 here, and this would be the third wave to the upside that would follow and back up the series of 1-2 setups that have formed previously. Now, within this wave 3, we have a wave 1 complete, a wave 2 complete, a third wave up complete, and now I'm looking for the correction here in the wave 4, where technically we could have bottomed. We did surpass the 38.2% retracement, but we did hold support, which is in the entire area between the $43.5 level all the way down to the $14 level. And as long as we hold the 50% retracement, we can still look for continuation in the wave 5 within this white scenario. Now, internally, within this wave 4, we have been tracking a few different scenarios, now as well as the bottom, the possible bottom here within the wave 4. Now, we don't necessarily have a count for this interpretation that would allow it to push higher, but I will do here a short presentation. So, assuming that we bottomed within the wave 4 in this area, I am looking here at a possible wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and here an A wave up, a B wave down, and then a C wave to the upside. This would be tracking an ending diagonal within this wave 5, where I am looking to form a 5-wave structure to the upside, but within an ending diagonal, meaning that each of the subwaves are developing in an ABC pattern, and that would mean the wave 1 was an ABC pattern. We have here the wave 2, or sorry, the wave 3 as an ABC pattern, the wave 2 as well actually, and then in that case, we would be looking here at the 5-wave structure to develop within this wave C. Now, it might be a bit out of proportions. The count, the internal structure doesn't fully back this idea up. It could work out, but yeah, I would be overall generally pretty careful. But yeah, in that case, it would mean that we could now be in an internal wave 3 within this wave C. And especially with this push that we have formed here to the upside today, I am more heavily considering that, because in a moment you will see in the shorter time frame we managed to break above the resistance area, allowing the chart to evolve to shift structures into something much more bullish. Now, we also have here on this time frame this orange interpretation that would still allow for continuation to the downside within this wave 4, and I am mainly tracking this because we failed to create a clear 5-wave structure that could be an initial wave 1 to the upside, where we would be able to look for a correction in a wave 2, and then track a more reliable 5th wave to the upside in a wave 3. We failed to do that. The first level of confirmation is not achieved because from the first push here to the upside, I suppose we could have counted this as a 5-wave move up, but then this movement kind of fails to look like a 5-wave structure, to be honest. It really struggles. So I'm managing these expectations with the orange scenario, where we would realistically still be looking for another low within the wave C, basically probably resetting this wave 4, probably getting another low, maybe not, but most likely yes. Now, if we manage to break above this wave B top, it would be a first good sign, but that would not necessarily invalidate the orange scenario. It could still just reset the orange scenario, and we have the green scenario for that interpretation, where this could have been a W wave up, an X wave down, and now we would be able to track a wave Y to the upside, where we are looking for an ABC structure to build this pattern and reset the wave B off, whereas afterwards we would still be tracking a wave C to the downside. So that is a very valid case, but for that interpretation we do need to first break this top that we have here in the wave B, and for which we have this dashed line at the $66 level, and as long as we stay below that, we can continue to track a C wave to the downside that would develop in a 5-wave structure. Doesn't need to, it could be a different pattern overall, but yeah, the idea is we would still be tracking continuation to the downside. Now, even before we had this idea of a 1-2 setup here, and we did again break above the resistance area, but we failed to actually break the entire structure and invalidate it by pushing above this wave B top. But now we may actually manage to do that with the latest developments. Now, within this push to the upside, it is a bit surprising. We did have what was a pretty reliable 5-wave structure to the downside. Now, of course, it could also be counted as a 3-wave move, but yeah, the odds were suggesting that we would still find another low in this area, at least within an ABC structure within this green scenario, to reset here the wave B. But now it is actually possible to track the wave B bottom here and look for a direct continuation to the upside. After all, it was in a very short time frame that we had this 5-wave structure, not necessarily the most surprising that it broke down. It could have been really an ABC structure within the wave A, and then here a tiny wave B, something like this, and then a C wave down. Could be fine, doesn't really matter. As I was saying, it is a very short time frame. And yeah, in this case, we could be looking for a possible bottom in this wave B, and we will be tracking this very closely in the close future. Now, even if this doesn't work out directly, we do still have this area of support that would still allow us to push directly higher, either within this green scenario or the more bullish interpretation that I mentioned earlier. But for now, I would like to continue to track this closely and allow for a more direct breakout. And for that, I want to bring back the counts and support zones that we have been tracking, as well as resistance zones that we have been tracking in this area in the short time frame. And yet within this A, B, or 1-2 pattern that we had either in orange or green, we have been looking to find resistance up to the 78.6% retracement. We did do that, even at the 61.8% retracement, we did previously find resistance. We had struggled with it a bit. Also at the 38.2% retracement, we did find some resistance and struggled to break it. But yeah, we managed to break higher. What that means is that not necessarily that the blue count cannot still play out. Now this would be a blue count within either the green wave B or the orange wave 2, both apply. And it could still work out as long as we stay below the previous stop that we have here at around the $62.4 level. But if we break that point, it would pretty much invalidate that scenario, allowing it even more likely to push higher either within the green scenario or the bullish interpretation, the breakout interpretation, where we would be in the 5th wave to the upside. Now, internally, I would like now to remove these blue support zones and track here this possible bottom in the green scenario, where in this case, instead of looking here at an A wave up, I could consider this a wave 1 up, here a wave 2 down, the second bottom, not the lowest point as the wave 2, and here then I would be looking at a 3rd wave up, and then I would be looking for a 4th wave down and the 5th wave to the upside. And I have been asked what would be the probabilities for this to actually still play out, and I think I want to remove this resistance area. Yeah, probably remove it. And I have been asked what are the probabilities of pushing into the mid-60s again, basically the dashed line that we have here on the chart. And I think they are pretty good, especially now since we managed to break above the 78.6% retracement. But most likely I would probably look for a correction in a wave 4 before considering that a likely scenario, because yeah, within this wave 3 I am tracking an impulse here within this 5-wave move to the upside, where yeah, in the wave 1 we had here a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is in a leading diagonal. Then we had a wave 2 correction down here in an ABC pattern, and now I'm tracking a 3rd wave to the upside, which is an impulse, because the 3rd wave must always be an impulse within a 5-wave structure. And yeah, in this idea we have a possible full count within this wave 3, but I could still see further extension. Now the RSI does suggest that we are towards exhaustion, and yeah, the momentum is slowing down, and I do have the possibility to make a full count, but I'm not going to do that necessarily. I could still allow even an additional yeah, maybe one more high here, and then even a smaller correction and another high, but I would not find that likely to make it all the way to the $65 level or somewhere around that area. And instead, I am now able to look at a support zone for a wave 2, especially since, yeah, let me remove this first, especially since we managed to break above or reach at least the 138.2% extension here for a wave 3. Now, did I not draw that right? Maybe I missed the levels a little bit. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I suppose we didn't quite reach that level just yet perfectly, but honestly, we got close enough to it for me to consider this, that it is a high reliability to be a wave 3, high enough anyway to be tracking a support zone here in a wave 4. Now, unfortunately, if we manage to push higher, the support zone would not be perfect anymore. But for now, assuming that we have already topped within this wave 3, I would be looking for a correction here in the wave 4 in the area between the $55 level all the way down to the $51 level. Now, if we actually fail to hold the 50% retracement, I would be very cautious of any pushes higher, and instead I would heavily favor, again, the scenarios that we were previously tracking, where we are looking here at either a 1-2 setup within the orange scenario or an A-B setup within the green scenario. And yet in that case, I would still be looking for lower. So the 50% retracement at the $51 level is a very heavy signal that this uptrend is starting to fail. Now, it could still work out in the idea that it could be a series of a double 1-2-1-2 setup, but yeah, the reliability of that working out, it would be a little questionable. I would be a little worried, and I would find it much less likely to work out, because yeah, then we would have a possible ABC movement that has occurred here instead, and yeah, it could be a possible top in this area. Now, I think this is pretty much enough for this video. As I was saying, be aware if we push a little higher here, the support zone would need to be adjusted slightly based on it, but it wouldn't heavily affect that that support zone levels. They would shift as well slightly, but not by much. But right now, yeah, as long as we don't get a sustained break below the 50% retracement, I am still looking for higher. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.